Welcome back. In the midst of this winter storm, you can spend some time preparing for spring. It's a good time to go through the seeds you have that you want to plant, but knowing which ones are still good to grow can be tricky. Charlie and Sharon show us how to properly seed sort in this week's In the Garden.
Charlie, this is such an optimistic time of year. Seed starting.
I know. It's winter, and we're thinking about gardens already.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And this is a great time of year. One of my traditions is to go through all my old seed packets, you know, the half-opened ones and half-used ones, and decide which ones I'm going to keep, which ones I'm going to compost, and so I'll know which ones to get new for.
And then check your compost pile in case those old seeds happen to do something.
So the first thing you want to do is take a look at your old packets and look for the the packing date, not the expiration date.
Oh,
Sometimes it's on the back like this, what year it was packed for. Sometimes they're really nice. They put it right on the front so you can see it.
But you can use them 1 year after. How many years have to go by before you should use
so
them?
once you know how old those seeds are, then you have to think about what kinds of seeds they are, what kind of vegetables. So there are some vegetables like onions and parsnips and parsley and leeks. They only last a year or two. And so those, if they're older than a year or two, it's probably best to compost them and get new ones. There are other ones that'll last 3 to 4 years. Those could be the tomatoes and the squashes and the beans and the carrots and those kinds. And then there's some that last 5 to 6 years. Those are the basils, the lettuces, cucumbers, and radishes. Now that doesn't mean that some of these won't germinate if they're older than that, but they won't germinate very well. And the seedling that comes up won't be very, very strong or very viable. So another thing you could do is do a germination test. So if you have a lot of the seeds of a certain variety, you can put 10 of them in a paper towel, moistened paper towel in a plastic bag. And I did that here. There's some peppers here, lettuces here. These are about a week old. You put them in a kind of a dark place, a warm place, so they'll germinate. You can start seeing this little germination that's starting to just happen on these lettuces.
So those guys are okay?
Yeah, so those guys are okay. If you have, say, 7 or 8 of the 10 that are germinating, those seeds are pretty good. If it's less than that, probably good to start all over again. And then, of course, storing the seeds, it's really nice to put them in a place where they won't have all the conditions they like to have to grow. So no light, no moisture, and no warmth. So a lot of times I'll put them in a Tupperware container or a glass container. You can put them in a freezer to keep them really... Yeah, you can freeze them. You do okay there. And you can put them in a dark place so they don't get much light. And, of course, keep moisture away from them, too. So if you do all of that and you have your idea of what kind of seeds you have and how old they are, you can determine which ones you can just get rid of and which ones you can go out there and have some fun buying seeds.
Get started.